Badge? What badge? You don't belong here. Officer Grant Harlow shoved Ariana Lewis to the marble floor of the courthouse, his hand pressing down with humiliating force as lawyers and clerks froze in silence. Phones tilted upward, recording every second as his voice dripped with contempt. Imposter, fraud, sweetheart playing dress-up. The crowd smirked, some whispering agreement. But what none of them realized was that Ariana wasn't just any visitor. She was a federal attorney carrying the case that would shatter his entire career. Badge? What badge? You don't belong here. The words exploded through the courthouse hallway, a split second before Officer Grant Harlow slammed Ariana Lewis hard onto the marble floor. Gasps erupted as her case files scattered across the polished stone like confetti at a parade. Grant's knee pinned her shoulder. His smirk widened. Imposter, fraud, sweetheart playing dress-up. Phones rose instantly. Lawyers, clerks, and even jurors froze, their silence as heavy as the officer's grip. Ariana's voice strained, steady despite the pressure. "I am a federal attorney. Get off me." Grant laughed, loud and cruel. "Federal attorney? Please. You barely look qualified to pour coffee. Who let you in this building?" Snickers rippled through the hall. A young clerk whispered, "She's lying. He wouldn't grab her if she was real." Ariana's badge lay inches from her outstretched hand, gleaming under the fluorescent lights. Grant kicked it aside, sneering. "Fake. Picked up from a street vendor, huh?" The humiliation thickened as whispers grew sharper. Another fraud. Trying to play lawyer. Grant leaned down, his voice low but audible to the crowd. "Here's the truth. People like you don't get power in this country, and if they do, I make sure they don't keep it." Cameras caught every word. The live stream counter climbed. 2,000, 10,000, 50,000 viewers. Comments poured. "That's assault. Sue him. Why isn't anyone stopping this?" Ariana inhaled slowly, refusing to cry. "Grant Harlow, you're making the biggest mistake of your career." Grant's eyes flashed with arrogance. "The only mistake would be letting you walk in here pretending you belong." He reached into her briefcase, scattering confidential files. "What's this?" "Court documents? Who forged these for you?" He waved them like trophies. The crowd murmured, some entertained, others horrified. Then, like fate cracking open, Judge Monroe stormed into the hallway. His robe billowed, his gavel still in hand. "What is happening here?" Grant straightened, but didn't release Ariana. "Caught a fraud, Judge. She's impersonating a federal prosecutor. I was about to book her." Judge Monroe's brow furrowed. "And what evidence do you have?" Grant gestured at the scattered badge and documents. "Cheap forgeries. Anyone can fake these." Ariana pushed herself upright, voice steady. "Your Honor, my credentials are real. My case is on today's docket. United States versus Hawthorne, Civil Rights Division." Gasps. Lawyers exchanged glances. That case was the courthouse's headline trial. Grant laughed again, mocking. "Nice story, but I say you're a liar, and this crowd seems to agree." Before the judge could respond, Ariana pulled her phone from her blazer pocket. One press, and an audio file boomed across the hall. Grant's own voice filled the air. "She's testifying tomorrow. Doesn't matter. I'll slam her down before she even gets inside. Teach her respect." The crowd erupted. Phones tilted higher. Live stream viewers hit 150,000. Grant's face drained of color. That's doctored." Judge Monroe's voice thundered. "Enough. Release her at once." Grant stepped back, but Ariana didn't rise immediately. She gathered her files with deliberate calm, every movement reclaiming dignity. Then she stood, fixing her gaze on him. "You think this ends with an apology?" she asked, her voice like steel. Grant's jaw tightened. "I was just doing my job." Ariana raised her badge high, the federal seal catching the light. "Your job is to uphold the law. Instead, you broke it, on camera, in front of witnesses, and across a live stream being watched nationwide. The comments flooded in. Fire him now. That's racism live. Expose the system. Judge Monroe turned to Ariana. Do you wish to press charges? Her answer was calm, but devastating. I don't have to. The evidence is already enough to destroy his career. Grant sputtered. This is a setup. She's lying. But then a voice cut him down like thunder. Grant Harlow. The crowd parted as Margaret Lewis, Ariana's mother, stepped forward, gray-haired, dignified, her cane clicking against the marble. The resemblance was undeniable. Gasps swept the hall. Margaret had been a respected community leader for decades. She raised her chin. Grant, I raised you as my own. I gave you a home, food, love. But today, you proved you are no son of mine. The revelation shattered the room. Grant was her adopted child, Ariana's brother by law. Whispers spiraled. He attacked his own sister? This is unreal. Grant's face twisted in panic. Mother, please don't do this. Margaret's voice didn't waver. I taught you justice. You chose hatred. And sometimes love means letting go. The live stream soared to 300,000 viewers. Headlines already lit up. Officer assaults sister, federal attorney. Ariana stepped closer, her eyes locked on Grant. This case, my case, isn't just about one corrupt officer. It's about dismantling the system that protects men like you. Today, that system cracks open. Judge Monroe's gavel slammed. Grant Harlow, you are hereby suspended pending investigation. Officers, escort him out. The same cuffs he had reached for were snapped around his wrists. His head bowed as cameras flashed. Margaret turned to Ariana, her eyes glistening. Justice hurts, child, but it heals too. And today, you showed this country what healing looks like. Tears welled in Ariana's eyes, but her voice never cracked. Justice isn't easy, but it's always worth it. She turned to the sea of faces around her. Judges, clerks, lawyers, citizens, each frozen in shame or awe. Every person who watched and said nothing, you should remember this day, because silence is a choice. And today, silence lost. The air thickened with tension. A hush fell, broken only by the sound of her gathering the scattered files at her feet. With calm precision, she stacked them, then held them close to her chest, like a shield of truth. The applause began softly, one pair of hands clapping in the corner, then another, until the sound built into a storm echoing against the marble walls. Ariana didn't bask in it. She stood firm, her voice carrying above the thunder. This isn't the fall of one man. It's the first crack in the walls that protect men like him. The weight of her words lingered long after the last clap faded, leaving the courthouse forever changed. If this story shook you, like, share, and comment the moment that hit hardest. Subscribe and turn on notifications. More shocking stories of justice, truth, and power are coming.